Peace. Salute. Salute, everyone. Peace and love to everybody. Salute. Salute. Salute to the good family. I'm just checking my little stuff here, my little settings, make sure I'm okay. Peace and love to the good family as I am straightening out my little settings. Hopefully you guys hear me okay. Infinite blessings. I hope everybody is well. Hope everybody had a very good weekend, had a very good week, right? And yeah, couldn't wait to get in here and talk some good old boxing, right? The sport, the chaotic, crazy sport that we love. Let me check in the building to see if we got any family up in here. Do my salutations as I like to do to the good family. Yes, we got some good family up in here. Salute. Let's see who we got first. Salute to the king, Snoopy Mac in the building. I see you first on deck tonight. Infinite blessings to the king, Snoop. He says, let me turn up my screen. I always forget to turn up my screen. Got to make it bright. He says, Miss Queen, sugar free, Queen Sugar. Infinite blessings to the king, Snoopy. Nice to see you. Happy Sunday to you, King. Thank you so much for rolling through. You already know what time it is with the energy and the love. Blessings to you, King. Lovely to see you. Salute to my twin, Daryl Anderson, in the building. Always great to see my twin. He says salute to the beautiful queen, aka my twin Sugar Free. And salute to the rest of the kings and the queens in the chat. Big blessings to my twin, Daryl Anderson. Hope that you've been well. Hope you had a great weekend, King. Lovely to see you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay, please tell them. For the bitches in the back, get them nines all the way up. Put a 9 in the chat if you guys can hear me okay. Put a 9 in the chat if the energy is good this evening, right? Hopefully everything is well with the good family. Big blessings to my beautiful sis. Convos with Cammy Cam in the building. Hey, beautiful sis. She says, my beautiful sis, sending love and hugs your way. Cook, beautiful sis. Yes, indeed. That's my sis in the building. Big stepping with that wonderful energy I love to see. So lovely to see you, Sunflower. Thank you so much for coming through. We got the King DP in the building. Salute to the King DP, right? One of the generals of the book promotions in the house. Salute to the King DP. Always wonderful to see you, King. Thank you so much for coming through. Oh my goodness, here he goes. Des 215 is in the building. Infinite blessings to you, King. Salute to you. Always good to see you. We also have the King PGH, Big Steppin' in the building. Salute to you as well, King. Lovely to see you. Hold up. We got the King G tatted. All right, King G. What's up to you? He says, salute, Queen Sugar Free. Infinite blessings to you. You already know what it is, King. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by and sharing a few moments of your Sunday with me. The goddess definitely appreciates it. And salute to the King Corbin in the building as well. He says, what up, Queen Sugar Free? All is good, King. I'm here. You know what I mean? Checking in with the good fam. Wanted to come through and speak a little bit about some things that I have been observing, here and there, and the things that I look forward to, of course, as we are closing out, the year. So I'm tapping into a little bit of thoughts about, what I am anticipating or what we can anticipate collectively, in boxing as we move into the new year. Oh my goodness, the Queen Mama Love is in the building. Hey, Queen Mama Love. Lovely to see the Queen Mama Love in the building, Shaquilla Fields. Infinite blessings, infinite. Big, big hugs and love to you, Queen. Lovely to see you. Hold up. Not my comrade in the building. I almost looked over the comrade. How the hell did that happen? I'm slipping. I can't be missing a comrade. Infinite blessings to my number one comrade, Coach Hudson in the building. Big blessings to you, King. Lovely to see you. Also, we got the King Akondo, the great King Akondo is in the building with his 9s on deck. Lovely to see you. Damn, I think I scrolled I scrolled down way too fast and missed a couple of people. Salute to the King Mo in the building as usual with that wonderful energy I love to see. Blessings to the King Mo. Okay. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much. I see the King Akondo with his hearts and his rose and his crown. Thank you so much, King, for that energy. I definitely appreciate you, and it's always lovely to see you um, come through. Okay, so as you guys are making your way in, you guys, um, growing with soul, I see you in the building, King. Here you are. Blessings, blessings, beautiful Black people. Yes, indeed. All my beautiful brothers and sisters, always lovely to see you. Hold up. Speaking of brothers, the King Stephen X is in the building. Salute to the King Stephen. Okay, King Stephen is a wonderful, wonderful addition to the space every week. Always lovely to see you. Hope all is well with you, King. Hope you had a wonderful weekend and a good week in the previous week, right? Infinite blessings to you. He says, Peace, Queen. Grateful to be here listening to greatness today. Oh, my goodness. Don't make me blush. I appreciate you, King. Thank you so much for joining. Definitely appreciate your time. Um, sharing a little bit of your Sunday, with the goddess. I definitely appreciate it. Oh, my goodness. Here she goes. My sis, Tay Brown, the brown sugar Tay. Hey, beautiful sis Tay. My Leo sis, salute to the lioness, Tay. Lovely to see you, Queen. Oh my goodness, is this Hold up, Patrice? Where you been, Patrice? Okay, you just gonna roll through here and just pop up in here like, oh, I've been gone for a minute. Now I'm back with the jump off. Like, you just disappear from view and just suddenly reappear like nothing happened. Okay, King Patrice. Thank you for the pleasant surprise. Lovely to see you. Okay, I hope everything's been well with you. All right. I hope you had a wonderful holiday if you celebrate the Thanksgiving holiday. But just in general, I hope everything's well. Right. Sending blessings to you. Lovely to see you this Sunday evening. Thank you so much for joining, King. Right. He says sugar free gonna cook. Break it down today. I mean, there's some things I definitely want to get into. Right. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely in the kitchen. I got the apron on. So we'll see what we cook up today, King. But definitely lovely to see you. I appreciate you. Okay. Excuse me, you guys, as I'm just enjoying a cinnamon candy. So give me a moment or two to deal with this. And I'm going to try to be as coherent as I can while enjoying this lovely cinnamon candy that I love so much. So peace and blessings to the good family. I hope that everything I hope everything is well with the good family. I hope everybody's in good spirits. And always sending, blessings to the good family. Now, let's see how I want to begin this, good people, because there's a lot that I want to divulge. I say this all the time. Sometimes I do this, but sometimes I don't like manage it well. I really don't want to be too long-winded. But there are a lot of things that I found to be a little bit heavy over the week, as far as things, just peeping the scene, especially on social media, across social media, stuff like that. Some things that had me absolutely livid that I just tried to like save it for the end. Gonna try to save that for the end because there's a lot of pressure. At least there's some eyes and some light that I want to, lean onto particular situations that I found to be revolting in so many ways. But I'm going to try to save that for the end, right? I'm going to try to ease on into this because I know I can be very, very hot with the fire. So I'm going to try to leave that one a little bit towards the back end. But I guess what I wanted to discuss today really is not so much a statement, but more so of a question. I guess I always have a question to pose, right? It's always a question that kind of sparks the dialogue from week to week, based upon the things that I reflect on throughout the week. And of course, in engaging with the boxing community, with the good family, the channels that I support and rock with, and just in my own private time, sitting and chilling, scrolling through my timeline on social media, whether it be Twitter or Instagram or whatever have you. I'm kind of taking in, little bits of information here and there. And I'm always led to question. I guess this week's question for me, good family, was, uh, what now, right? What now is the general question I had. And I say that because now that we are, of course, simmering down from what for me was, the fight card of the year, right? The last Riyadh card featuring Devin Haney, and the other beautiful brothers, Abdullah Mason, Benavidez, and stuff like that. Now that we are simmering down from such a wonderful, fantastic, and phenomenal card, um, you know, that's the question, right? Because we were brought to such a high point with that fight. We had been anxiously awaiting that fight ever since the late spring. Um, we get here and then now it's like poof, the fight is over, right? That we were kind of overwhelmed with anticipation in the lead up to the fight. And now that, it's over and done with, and we are all, I guess, generally satisfied by the outcomes on that particular card. Not only because it was just stacked, wonderfully from head to toe, each fight, but that the outcomes themselves, all the people that we anticipated would be victorious were indeed that, right? And we got some really wonderful performances. So that now that we're coming off of that, I'm looking into what we can anticipate, I guess, as we move into the new year, right? That's pretty much the point of view that I'm kind of angling toward right now. That's kind of my angle. So, of course, last night we had an evening of boxing, right? That I'm sure many people got to see and many people got to watch. I particularly did not indulge in that fight card. I didn't buy it or anything like that. Um, but I went back and caught like glimpses here and there of the particular fights that I happen to be interested in, which I'll get into in just a bit. But a lot of people, were tuned into the fight that took place, or the fights, I should say, rather, that took place last evening. But I think that my eyes, for the most part, are on the coming months. I really am interested in the new year. Um, what the year will unfold, right? What the coming year has in store. And I think that we had such definitive performances, particularly from the young king for me, Devin Haney, um, the other week, that it seems to have, I don't know, maybe coming off of the back of the fight, that fight stirred up a level of of heartlessness, that is all too pervasive, and it has been lingering in the corners, I want to say, for quite some time among and amid the boxing community. That fight with Devin Haney seemed to have stirred up a lot of things. And even though it didn't necessarily touch the fight card that took place last evening, certainly the surrounding boxing community is absolutely affected by, um, the outcome of that fight, or at least the trajectory that Devin Haney intends to make, right? And so I'm wondering, not only just Devin, but people like him, um, in the coming year, what are the opportunities that are going to be laid out before the actual fighters with warrior heart, the actual fighters that want to step out there and test themselves and make themselves among the best? Can they be able to do that if we, I want to say, drag on this heartless mentality into the new year, right? I think that with last evening's bouts, I guess I can consider it kind of refreshing, in a way for me, even though I didn't watch the fight card, I didn't buy it or anything like that. But I guess that I could consider it refreshing in a way, because we got to see some new energy in the mix. Some attention was brought elsewhere for a little bit, which I guess was refreshing for me. I'm not sure if that was the same thing for you. Seeing different, group, different bunch, go at it, trying to attain legacy for themselves, trying to, stake claim to their respective divisions and what have you. That was refreshing to me to see. Even though I wasn't necessarily totally interested in the card, or it didn't really get me galvanized per se. I did like that it was a new mix of men, getting it in, getting it cracking, and trying to showcase, their skills at the elite level. We got Oshaki Foster last night. We got Roach and Pitbull. We had the Frank Martin and stuff like that. And I guess for me, in looking at that fight card, it was a bit of a reminder that pretty much that the field is brewing with potential sparks that can be set off in the coming year, in the approaching year. And seeing those men get it in, it's like, okay, well, there is a fresh bunch of energy, right? It isn't just the 1, 2, 3, 4 fighters that we give our attention to, but that there are other men, right? Worthy competitors making their way into the conversation, and rightfully so. That's what I found to be refreshing. In looking at the card yesterday. It was a nice reminder of that. So salute to everybody that was on the card. Of course, salute to all of those who came out victorious. It was interesting, right? Interesting turn of events. A lot of perspective surrounding the outcomes of particular fights and stuff like that, which I'll touch a little bit into. And ask you guys, what you thought of that as well. I know there's a lot of opinions going on, particularly with the Lamont Roach outcome and stuff like that. So a lot of interesting stuff happened as far as outcomes with that fight card. But in the interim, right, of awaiting the new year, I guess, of, now being in the aftermath of the fight card last evening, I guess we are in the interim now, right? We are waiting and awaiting what is to come. I think that in this state, I'm left wondering, okay, well, what's next? Pretty much what now? What can we look forward to with these fighters? Just in general in boxing, you guys, what can we look forward to, right? As we approach the coming months, as we approach the new year, a new cycle. I have questions about, are we going to see more of the same, going into 2026? I goddamn sure as hell hope not, even though I know it's more than likely that we will see a lot of that residual energy. Like I said, the level of, heartlessness that we see people ducking. Ooh, child, I intend to get into all of that with y'all. Are we going to see more of that? Are we going to see more long layoffs going into 2026, brothers and sisters? Are we going to see people, satisfied with Twitter wars instead of actually getting in the ring to thug it out? Are we going to get more of that in goddamn 2026, y'all? I don't want to drag that into 2026. I sure as hell don't. Are we going to see more blatant duckery in this coming year, ladies and gentlemen? Well, what is going on? You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm looking at right now. It's like, damn, I always get excited about entering a new year. You start fresh. It's pretty much a blank canvas. And you start thinking up all the potential fights that can be made and stuff like that. And you're so hopeful as a real true boxing fan, as a boxing enthusiast. Every time the new year comes around, you're like, oh my goodness, maybe a big card starts out the new year. But we have been so unlucky, I want to say, the past 2 years that, we start out well, let's say for the first quarter, right? The first 3 months or whatever have you, only to then, have the energy kind of dwindle, right? We only get trinkets here and there. And it's just like, I'm tired of that shit. Are we going to see more activity? Can we expect that in 2026? Not these long ass layoffs and these pointless ass, internet beefs, without ever being materialized or actualized. Are we going to get more goddamn drug cheating scandals? Come on, y'all. Boxing has been wild, you guys. It seems like we had every shade and every taste of a debacle and conquest that you could fit in a single year this year, you guys. What has this year been doing, y'all? We had some really great highlights and stuff, but it seems like we just got, I don't know, we got the extreme of everything this year, I guess. And as far as like the what now thing for me, like the theme, I guess I'm also posing the question of what now to us, supporters of the sport, us boxing enthusiasts. I'm posing that question to us as well, as far as what now with us, right? We've seen a lot of, let's say, for example, unveiling of mindsets and intentions throughout the year, particularly with the fan base, that have left many of us real ones, parsing, analyzing the overall motives within the sport, motives of fighters, motives of media, motives of, fanship alike, right? Us real ones have been sitting back and observing all of this stuff. And I'm wondering, what is our approach as real diehard boxing fans? as far as the pursuing and pushing and supporting of the best fights possible being made. How can we better support that as boxing fans? How can we better call it forward? Yeah, I mean, I think that we have a lot of power as boxing fans, and I think like it goes beyond just liking a post from your favorite fighter, but I think that we really have a lot of push and pull to get a lot of these fights made. I just think that we just need a clearer approach and mentality and a seriousness. We need a severity about the fights that we want to see. Um, and I'm looking to see a lot more gusto, at least from the conscious boxing community, as we always do, right? Standing 10 toes in pushing for those best fights, in talking about the wonderful matchups that have the potential to be made, and in the ones that we want to support and back with our dollars, with our energy, with our reviews and breakdowns and everything else, right? Um, can we as boxing fans anticipate more protection agency squads out here, the sassy patrol, dissuading from the important fights getting made, dissuading from the importance of legacy fights for these fighters? It seems like this era of fighters seem to be a little bit too content um, with the momentary gain of attention and a social media post rather than actually making legacy fights, actually vying for and pushing for legacy fights. Some of these fighters are content with their Twitter beefs or just talking themselves up a good deal without ever really proving it. Is that something we could look forward to, as far as its continuance in the coming year? I got questions, you guys. You know what I'm saying? And I guess to one degree or another, there'll always be that squabble, within the sport, right? Every single fight can't get made. Every, elite fighter can't fight every other elite fighter. But we damn sure as hell can push a lot harder than we have been. I think that the effort um, rescinded a little bit. You know what I mean? I think we could push and push these fighters to make, you know, a more pronounced stand and take a stronger posture in not only satiating the boxing fan who is in support of them, but actually it's not just about I want to see the attainment of legacy. I want to see these fighters you know walk in the line of greats. I'm not just a fighter for the moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm very old school with it. You know what I'm saying? I salute the men and women of the past, who did it big and who did it to the best of their ability, regardless of politics, regardless of money, regardless of egos or whatever have you. You know what I mean? But I'd like to see more of these fighters take claim to their era. And hopefully in 2026 we can be seeing more of at least our select favorites taking more initiative in getting that done. um that's why I brought up the young king, because his fight was so significant. Of course, him entering into his third weight class, becoming champion upon his debut in yet another weight class, as he did at 40 and stuff like that. These are the types of moves and the types of risks that I would like to see um more fighters taking. You know what I'm saying? But it just seems like we see a lot of excuses being made by some of the people that we have upheld and assumed to hold a world of potential. It seems like these fighters are rescinding and recoiling from these types of things. We'll get into that in a little bit, but I guess let's touch on this first. Beautiful people. Like I said, I wasn't really interested in this fight card as aforementioned. You know what I mean? The one that took place last night. I didn't order the fight. I didn't do shit. You know what I mean? I just kind of kept an ear and an eye out, real talk, for the updates on social media, right? As the fights were occurring, I was kind of engaging on social media a little bit with the people, who were kind of keeping me up to date and informed about what was going on. I think as far as this fight card is concerned, the one that I was most curious about was Frank Martin and Barthélemy. That's the one that I was really interested in, as far as like, oh, okay, well, I would like to see, the outcome of that. I can't wait to see what that outcome is going to be. I think that was the one I was most looking forward to finding out about, was Frank Martin. Um, of course, I was interested in seeing, how he would perform, right, in his first fight at 140. He's officially, fighting at 140, as we know. I feel like this division is one that he could really have a lot of success in. I think that he could really stake claim to 140 for some reason. Well, not for some reason. I mean, he was absolutely drained in his last fight against, Tank Davis. I think this is a much healthier weight for him, even though he's a smaller man as far as, height and stuff like that. He really is like very muscular. And so I feel like he would be, at a healthier stature here at 140. So it's good to see that he was victorious and that he also won with a statement knockout. That was wonderful to see. I think that 140 is just a thick ass division, right? It's just replete with a whole bunch of, styles of fighters, different personalities. I think it's a very good division for him to be in. I think anybody who is at 140 right now can look to the left and to the right, and really, not miss a meal, right? 140 has a decent amount of smoke there. So I'm interested in seeing the dynamic at 140 play out as far as what to expect in the coming year as well. I'd like to see all of these men get it popping, real talk, you guys. Yeah, maybe we got Antoine Russell, we got the Keyshawn up there, we got the Shakur, of course, he's having his debut at 40 in January with Teofimo and stuff like that. So, there's definitely plenty of work for all of these dudes to make some great fights. I think that concerning Frank Martin, I still want to see him against Keyshawn Davis. I still want to see Frank Martin against Shakur Stevenson. Hello, they got history. Those men, the Keyshawn got the history with Frank Martin. Shakur Stevenson got the history with Frank Martin. Of course, I want to say about 2 years ago, that he was proposing a fight with Frank Martin. Right. And then they had the whole back and forth, Frank Martin and Shakur Stevenson. And of course, the infamous run up that Frank Martin did on Keyshawn, that time ago. So there's history with those two men. I'd like to see, those particular fights get materialized for Frank Martin. I want to see him get it cracking with everybody over there, as many as he can, but definitely and most certainly Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson at 40. Right. I definitely want to see that fight materialize. I think Frank has plenty of storyline with both men. There's no reason, why that fight can't be made, considering they already have, that type of latent tension and tumult between them. And it's been had for a few years now. So I definitely would like to see that. I don't see why that fight would, senselessly linger around or be prevented for whatever reason, other than the fact that somebody would be blatantly ducking that smoke, right? And I don't think it'll be on Frank Martin's part. I think that Frank Martin is definitely with the shits. He always is about it, right? As long as that paper's right, as long as that he's signed his name on the line. He's ready to get it popping. Like I said, I think that he adds a nice element to 140, Frank Martin. Right? Anybody else feel that? I think Frank Martin adds a nice unknown dimension to 140 because I don't think that people really see Frank Martin coming. Right? I don't think they view him particularly as somebody who can upset or disrupt plans. Right? He's silent. He's very soft-spoken. Right? He has a level of calm and reserve about him. I don't think people really view him outrightly as a disruptor of plans, but I think that he definitely stands to be, a trick in the deck, if you will. I can't wait to see, his movements, how he's going to be progressed along by EJ, and what his trajectory will be. That's interesting to me. It's definitely highly probable that Frank Martin may be more of a problem than assumed because he is so, I don't want to say overlooked, but because he isn't so readily received, right? With as much recognition as, say, a Pitbull Cruz or a Matias or whatever have you, right? So I'm definitely excited to see Frank Martin claim turf. Of course, I saw that the King EJ was in attendance, of course, to support his dude, right? Always wonderful to see EJ. I think I saw in a brief interview while, at the arena or whatever have you. I think EJ had mentioned that he wants to possibly set up a fight with Hitchens and Frank Martin next. So I thought that would be pretty dope, right? Hitchens and Frank Martin. I think that's a wonderful fight. Okay. Great fight to make. Hitchens took to his Twitter last night saying something like, "Oh, I will wash the fuck out of Frank Martin." Right? So there's a little beef already happening there. We'll see what happens. Real talk, I'm like set it up because one thing I do not want dragging into 2026, beautiful brothers and sisters, are hollow ass, empty ass, baseless ass words. Okay? If you want to talk your shit, you gonna have to back that shit all the way up. I'm tired of that. We had way too long of a time of empty, hollow ass, nonsensical rhetoric in boxing. I'm through with that. Let's get that shit popping in 2026. No more fucking talking out the side of your goddamn cheek. Like, let's get these fights made. Don't say nothing if you're not interested in doing the damn thing. That's kind of my energy through and through. So let's get that shit in. You're gonna set it up. Hitchens already trying to talk his little shit on whatever. EJ's definitely down with setting it up. You already know Frank is with the business. Let's get the fucking fight made. You know what I mean? But yeah, big salute to Frank Martin on the victory. For his knockout victory. I definitely can't wait to see what's next for the King, Frank Martin. Now, let's get into this damn O'Shaquie Foster really quickly, you guys, and Fulton. This honestly for me was the secondary fight that I took interest in. It was only this fight and the Frank Martin fight that I really was kind of like interested in. When this fight was initially announced, brothers and sisters, some months ago, I had a bunch of wind in my sails for it, right? I was excited about it. I was like, okay, yes, that's going to be a good fight. Oh my goodness, he's going to go up and they're going to meet, and right, the two brothers, beautiful fight. But for some reason, the intensity had quelled a little bit when it was rescheduled. Remember, because it was initially scheduled. This card was initially scheduled. I want to say, when was that, you guys? October, and then it was moved to December, right? To the date last evening, right? So that kind of took a little bit. I mean, I didn't lose interest in the fight, but there was a little bit of a quelling of the energy for it that I had initially had. The initial enthusiasm had quieted a little bit for me. But all in all, I'm glad to see that these men, finally, got it cracking in the ring. However, ladies and gentlemen, the circumstances around the weight issue with goddamn Fulton Jr., right? What was up with that, you guys? That's something that I was not anticipating at all. What the hell was that with the missing of the weight from Fulton? Absolutely unappealing on every level. Fulton missed weight, y'all. Motherfucker came in 2 pounds over the limit. 2 pounds? I just, it was crazy to me. And it really made me even more, reluctant, I guess, a little bit. So, I already had, my enthusiasm had dwindled a little bit for it. But then, in seeing that, I was like, oh, come on, Fulton. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? At your debut at this weight? What is going on? Where's the professionalism? I was not happy when I learned of that, throughout during the week. Can somebody tell me how to fuck a fighter that was moving up in weight, right? Motherfucker coming from 26. This nigga gets to goddamn 35. How the hell does the fighter moving up in weight, coming up to 35, find himself unable to goddamn comply with the weight? What is going on? How the hell do you have an inability to make weight? You're the smaller man. And you come in overweight by 2 goddamn pounds. The smaller opponent misses weight. The math refuses to math for this one for me, you guys. I was like, what? How the fuck did that happen? It was just diabolical in hearing that news. I couldn't help but notice that, a complete lack of professionalism. There's a carelessness going on there. There's a slovenliness, right, going on from Team Fulton. Crazy work. It's like, what is going on there? I don't get that. Additionally, you guys, if I'm going to be totally candid, um, I feel like something I don't know, but I feel like in looking at like in engaging Fulton, something's wrong with him to me. I don't know what it is. I've just been observing his, demeanor in the lead up to the fight and stuff like that. Something seems absent with him. I don't know what that energy is that I am picking up, but he does not seem collected to me. And that's something that I had picked up on uh, you know, uh months back, right? He does not look connected to me. He does not look intent on, and he looks, aloof. Something's aloof with him there, right? And I guess my energy was speaking correctly because that aloofness certainly showed up. As far as his inertia or as far as his carelessness, in missing the weight, right? Something there's a disconnectedness, in other words. And that disconnectedness even appeared a little bit in the ring last night. Facts or no? I mean, from the little bit that I saw, Shock pretty much was doing whatever the hell fuck he wanted to do in that ring with him. Right? Bust him all up, swolled up his goddamn face. Shock barely had a scratch on him by the end of that fight. Right? And I rock with both of these men. So that it was like, okay, well, what's going on, Fulton? I don't like the way you are disconnected. Whatever is going on with you, you need to figure that out. Now, definitely rocks with the young king Shock heavily, right? I'm definitely glad he got his dub. He was the standout, performer in the ring. He had the level of professionalism, and he's going to go on, to do whatever he needs to do. Right. So congrats to him. I'm definitely hearing that he's now going to become the mandatory to Shakur Stevenson. If I'm hearing that correctly. I think Shock and Shakur would be a wonderful matchup to take place. This is yet another person, ladies and gentlemen, that Shakur Stevenson has a bit of history with. And this history is going back to 130, of course, right? And, of course, we know that Shakur should have faced Oshaki since he was at 30. That didn't happen for whatever reason. He completely opted out, right? So whatever is whatever as far as that's concerned. But now that he stands to become the interim or whatever it is for Shakur Stevenson, I guess it puts the prospect back on the table. But I'm really not certain what the fuck Shakur's plans are, and I'm gonna get to his ass in just a moment. I don't know what the hell Shakur Stevenson is doing, ladies and gentlemen, if I'm being totally honest with you. Right? The more I behold that man, Shakur Stevenson, the more inconsistencies and shortcomings become obvious to me as far as his career path, as far as his motives, intent, all of that. I don't know what's going on with that. Is he going to stay at 140? Is he going to, do that? Is he going to go back to 35 to entertain, fights with people like Abdullah, who is a champion, fights with, Oshak, all these people, right? Interesting point that I'll get into in a little bit with as far as Shakur Stevenson. Lastly, I wanted to touch on this really quick. The Cruz versus Roach. Now, I guess the fight with Cruz and Roach was interesting to me upon hearing that it was made. Only in that, I was glad to know that Lamont Roach wasn't going to limit himself. He wasn't going to stand still in a complete state of idleness on the part of Red Light Special Davis. That's what was interesting to me about this particular fight. Not necessarily a matchup. I was just glad that Roach was fighting somebody, right? Because he had been waiting. He had been lingering on the whim of Tank Davis ever since March. Right, ever since the initial bout, so that it was good to see that he had moved on and set something up for himself to keep him active, right? Because if it was up to Tank Davis, the motherfucker would never fight again. He'd keep him stale and idle, for God knows how long. So it was good to see, him get some activity in and stuff like that. I was definitely glad to know that Lamont Roach said, excuse me, ho, I'm booked and busy. I'm not waiting for no goddamn body. We gonna book a goddamn fight. So salute to him, salute to his pops, salute to his management team for, getting the ball rolling and keeping him active with the fight before the year ended. Real talk, Lamont Roach had quite a year, you guys, right? he had quite the year surrounding all the charades and the spectacle with Red Light Special Davis earlier in the year, the controversy of the draw that happened with that fight. Then you had the game of motherfucking mental ping pong that Red Light Special was playing with this man. Oh, I'm gonna fight you. Oh no, I'm not gonna fight you. Oh, I'll beat your ass. Oh, I'm gonna get your kids. Only to fucking evade and duck like I don't know what. Like it's just what the hell was going on? Okay. Senselessly, blatantly avoiding Lamont Roach at all costs, right? So we already know the story with that. So in that way, it was good to see that he took initiative to get a fight in, and with a decent name too, right? Pitbull Cruz isn't necessarily a star, but his name has some spark to it, of course, because he also faced Tank and he generated and garnered a level of fanship. So it was a good name, and it was definitely a good option for him to make a debut at 140 with. So I like that for both men, actually. I had no idea what was going on with the whole strap situation with Lamont Roach. The motherfucker was still goddamn holding a 130 strap, ladies and gentlemen, right? And I think that it was officially maybe stripped of him last night. I think they took the belt last night, if I'm not mistaken. But motherfucker was carrying that belt, all year. Wasn't that crazy? Certainly wild to me that he had been holding onto that belt for that long, but it is what it is. I digress. But the fight, of course, with Pitbull Cruz ended in a draw. And I must say, talk about a hell of a year for Lamont Roach. He had probably the most bizarre boxing year in his career. I wouldn't be surprised. Another draw. This is the man's second draw this year. Back-to-back draws. 2 draw decisions in back-to-back matches that he had. What is going on, you guys? Did y'all hear him say, I'm sick of this shit, right? That man, Lamont Roach, is like, oh, hell to the nah, not another one. And, I didn't watch this fight in full. I intend to get to that. I'll probably do so this evening. Didn't get time to really watch it in full the way I wanted to, but I definitely want to go back and peep it if I can. I heard a lot of people say, that they had edged this fight to Roach, that it was a robbery. I have been hearing, myriad, claims to why they edged it to Lamont Roach. And then I've also been hearing, people and fighters themselves saying, I think EJ had mentioned that he edged it to Pitbull. A couple of fighters that I saw on social media saying that they had edged it to Pitbull. So it definitely seems like split down the middle. So the draw seems to be definitive enough as far as the decision that was made, because it seems to be clean cut down, down the middle as far as perspectives from people that were onlooking. All in all, I believe it's been said that they have agreed now to an immediate rematch, which I guess would be, I can't say it'll be interesting, but hopefully it'll give a definitive outcome that they are both looking for. I guess. I don't know. I heard Pitbull Cruz take a shot at Purple Pain, and he says, listen, something, I think he said something like, yo, if he wants a rematch, I'm saying, I'm not Tank Davis. We can get it cracking. I think he said something to that effect at the presser, like, yo, I'm not Tank. You want the rematch? We gonna get this work if you want it. So I guess that's dope on that level. But like I said, it's not necessarily a fight that pulls weight for me. So a rematch is, I don't know. I guess it'll give them the decision that either one of them are, looking to gain. I think that this fight should have most definitely been a hit or quitter, but it is with the, what it is. The judges made the call, made the decision. So it is what it is. I guess I suppose that means that Lamont is going to possibly transition fully. I guess he has transitioned fully into super lightweight. Is that what it is now? He is no longer going to fight at 35. Especially given that, his belt was allegedly taken from him, officially. So I guess that means he's staying at 140, y'all. I guess, right? That seems smart to me, seeing as all the names are there, right? There's a much more larger, number of opponents there, notable names. So I guess that's a smart thing. I think that's his best bet to stay at 140 at this particular time, because he's aiming to attain and maintain a level of relevance. And I think 140 is definitely the division to do that because it is stacked with, some recognizable names. I came across a repost that somebody had shared of Red Light Special. What is going on with Red Light Special goddamn Davis? Okay, motherfucker reactivated his damn Twitter, supposedly. I didn't go to his page, but I just saw the reverberation, of his sassy ass energy getting on, line again. So people were reposting snapshots of what he had posted because, of course, we know he's Mr. Tweet and goddamn delete. So people took goddamn snapshots as fast as they could and started like reposting it. And that's what I had come across, right? Motherfucker is back on Twitter, you guys, just as sassy as ever. Did you see him? Talk about, I'm going after Cruz next soon as my knees get better. I'm like, soon as your knees get better, what the fuck is wrong with Red Light Special Davis's knees? You know what? I actually don't even want to know. now that I said that out loud, I don't want to know what's wrong with his damn knees. He said, as soon as my knees get unbruised, baby, child, soon as these knees get unbruised, baby, I'm going after him. What? Why did that man say that? As soon as my knees get better. Yo. That shit had me fucking cracking up. Motherfucker, he said that. He said, soon as these here knees, baby, soon as they unbruise, I'm going to get him. And I guess he was talking about goddamn Pitbull, right? Crazy, crazy work. Actually, Tank, I don't want to know what's up with your knees, bruh. You know what I mean? You keep that to yourself, my dude. You feel me? That's your secret and your secret alone. You take that to the grave with you. You and your knees or whatever else you got going on. Don't want to know. Thank you, sir. Right? So that, I'm like, I'm good. So I don't know. I guess he's going to go after Pitbull. Is that the aim? I mean, that seems like the obvious play, right? He's going to go try to get the rematch with Pitbull. You know what, you guys? I'm so through with Red Light Special Davis, y'all. That man needs to, he needs to go. Don't go get your knees, whatever. Go get some counseling. Okay? Go get some goddamn guidance on how to stay out of court. You understand? Don't go after Pitbull Cruz. Go after some help. Go after retirement. We're just talking about as soon as these knees get better, I'm going after him. Ain't your ass retirement? Then he came out and said something about, I told you I got the 6 or 7, fight deal, something like that. He was alluding to the 6 or 7 fights that he has left or whatever. I don't know what this man is talking about. But the play is so obvious, that he wants to try to, attain, a way to get that rematch set with Pitbull Cruz. Absolutely shameful, you guys. Absolutely shameful. Of course he would attempt to rematch Pitbull Cruz instead of the motherfucker who gave him his first and only draw in his career. Instead of the motherfucker who arguably beat him back in March. So you would stay motherfucking 10 feet away, 100 feet away from Lamont Roach. But you're going to haul ass at the drop of a dime for an opportunity to rematch Pitbull Cruz, the motherfucker you beat. Resoundingly beat. I'm just like, what a puss. Like, the energy is just wild to me. I have no words for how vile I find that man's moves to be in this sport. It's vile to me how this man moves. Absolutely purposeless and otiose in every way. Okay? Purposeless. And you know what? Like clockwork, this little sassy ass motherfucker. Oh, guess what, y'all? He's back on his bad bitch curse your ass out time. Oh yeah. Not only did he get in there back on social media talking his shit. Okay. Not only did he quickly pick up his phone and hit the reactivate button on his Twitter with his pinky nails up and started typing away. Guess what, y'all? This motherfucker is back cursing out his own devotees. He's back at it, you guys. He's back cursing niggas out. He's back cursing out the people who love him. Somebody tweeted this man saying, lovingly, you guys. Here's another one. Here's another one, showing devotion and loyalty, tenderness and loving energy to this man. This is his fan. The motherfucking fan says to Tank Davis, this is a quote, you guys. Oh, the game misses you, broski. This shit is so bunk now. And they put a sad face. The game misses you, broski. This shit is so bunk now with a sad face. That's what the fan said. And you know what Purple Pain Davis's response was to his adoring, pleading, adulating fan? You want to know what he said to that person? He said, fuck y'all. Tank Davis' response to the man who says the game misses you. Tank said, fuck y'all. So that, this is what you get. This is exactly what the fuck y'all get. Y'all think that, cowering and being timid with your energy and being submissive and soft with your energy is going to get you affection. It's not. This nigga don't fuck with y'all at all. He don't like y'all. He don't want y'all talking to them. He don't want y'all writing him. He don't want you saying hello if you pass him on the goddamn street. He want all of y'all to get hit by a fucking train. Okay? He don't give a damn about y'all. He don't give a damn about your existence. He don't give a damn about your mama. Tank Davis is not with it. He's not with it. He don't want no parts of you people, and y'all just keep licking his motherfucking nuts. What is going on? You cannot pander to this man. You cannot win over his affections. How many times does he have to curse y'all the fuck out? I mean, these sassy ass man fans really do like it rough. They like to get slapped upside the head. They like to get mollywopped by Purple Pain Davis. They want to get mollywopped by this man. Oh, Tank Davis, I'm your favorite. I'm your biggest cheerleader now. You here? Can you mollywop me upside the head? I love you. They just ask for it. They beg for it. They want the abuse. I mean, that's the only thing that I could posit here. That's the only inference I can make here, you guys. Real talk, I have never seen a more masochistic relationship in the sports world between an athlete and a fan in my entire sports life. I have never seen a more diabolically masochistic relationship between an athlete and a fan in my life. What is this? Why do these people keep signing up for this abuse? It's wild work. The abuse is crazy. It's crazy. It's just, I really, I'm sitting here trying to deal with this, and I just can't grasp it. The shit is ghastly. It's perverse and otherworldly and absolutely unacceptable to anybody who's a sane, conscious person. What is going on? That these people keep running, to the lap of this man, and he just keep kicking them up the ass every goddamn thing. They like it. They goddamn like it. You know what I mean? They like getting on their knees. Apparently, him and his man fans both got fucked up knees out here. Hello! They both out here with fucked up knees. He got fucked up knees for his own goddamn position, and these fans' knees is fucked up for, taking the abuse from his ass. What is going on? What is going on? Please get out of my face with the nonsense. But that was the latest charade as far as the Purple Pain Davis and the whatever. He had something to say. Oh, I think he tried to also call Lamont Roach a gatekeeper. He just likes talking sassy about things. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I do not anticipate anything with Red Light Special Davis. I don't want to know what he has going on. I don't give a damn. But I certainly, if he were going to fight anybody, a rematch with Pitbull Cruz is absolutely futile. Absolutely futile. He knows good and goddamn well if there's anybody that should be, having his attention as far as a real matchup, not a goddamn expedition matchup, right? No goddamn expeditions. But if he were honestly to be coming back for a period of time, let's say in the approaching year, everybody and their mama knows that it should be Lamont Roach, right? But it is what it is. When you're a coward, you do cowardly things. Let me check in with the good family before I continue. What y'all think about that? Did y'all see those tweets that Red Light was making? Red Light said, oh, no, Hunty, I am reactivating my Twitter ASAP. And boo boo, baby girl. He started typing the sassiest, no, boo boo, fuck y'all. I don't give a damn about y'all. This man, his fan was literally on his knees. Hey, Tank, oh my God, the game is lost without you, daddy. Come back, daddy. That's the fan. And Tank Devin said, fuck out my goddamn face. That man responded, fuck y'all. Salute to the King, Mark Wunderlich in the building, my good brother. Salute to you, King. Lovely to see you. Definitely thank you for the reminder. Hit that like button, you guys. Always forget to say it. Thank you, Mark, for reminding me. Oh my goodness. Thank you to the King, Professor X, for some love in the super chat. The prof is in the building. Big blessings to you, King. Lovely to see you. I just scrolled up a little bit to see what you guys were saying. My twin says, we know Devin will fight in February. We just don't know who. Child, we going to get into that. We definitely going to tap into that a little bit. Some thoughts I had concerning the opponent that he has been gunning for the past 2 weeks. Salute to the King Akando. He says, best fight's going to be lower ranked fighters, up and comers. Who you was talking about, King? I'm trying to gauge my memory on what I was hitting on earlier. Salute to the village brother in the building. Blaze pound for pound. I see you. He says, salute, Queen. I see you. My beautiful sis, she says, I will not be surprised if they duck him, sis. You already know what time it is. You already know what time it is, sis. The King Blaze says, and these great fighters are in position to fight each other. Yes, all of them are. 1000%. It's time to get that made. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely my aim, as far as what I'm looking forward to, in the coming year, that these fights we can get more of these fights, on the chopping block. It makes no sense, for the reticence. It's no point at all in being reticent in 2026 with these fights that have already been lingering for far too long. It's like, we can't go into another year with this level of reserve. We can't have it. The King of Kondo, he says, I could have beaten Tank if he didn't leave himself open. Open by stop moving around instead of sitting there at the ropes. Ciao. I guess that's why he don't want he don't want the business with your boy, that he should be rematching. He did everything that he could to avoid that, to evade, to duck, to cower, to hide. I just don't know what's going on with that man. I have no idea. Yeah, absolutely, King Vonnie, and infinite blessings to you, by the way, King Vonnie. He says Twitter fingers. That's what that's what these fights are relegated to. Twitter wars. You know what I mean? What's his name was sure as hell sassy as hell when it came to typing threats to Lamont Roach's child on Twitter. When it came time for him to motherfucking get that motherfucking rematch on, he ducked for cover ASAP. But he's so comfortable, typing as sassy as he wants on Twitter. It's diabolical. Yeah, twin, I have no idea what was up with Fulton. He says, what the fuck is wrong with Fulton? He looks like he's disinjured. Didn't he? I don't know what's going on there, twin. But I just could not help but notice that in the lead up to the fight. Right? And then seeing him show up to that, to the final weight in, he's missing the weight, and it's just, his energy in the ring was, I don't know what's going on with that brother. I know that he had some issues personally that he had shared some months back early in the year, somewhere early in the year, I forget when, but some months ago, where there was some issues that he was still dealing with, the fact that I guess a lot of people are, that were around him leading up to that Inoue fight had suddenly disappeared upon his loss. He was dealing with kind of like the mentality of that, right? Having to deal with that mentally, and even the people that he considered close to him kind of separating them, distancing themselves when he was no longer, champion or whatever. So I don't know. I know he had mentioned that, but there's definitely a level of inertia going on, right? a disconnectedness, a disinterest. Something's going on there. Salute to the good brother Shelton in the building. I see you. I see you. ATL is in the building. He says, salute, SugarFreeMars. Yes, lovely to see you, King. Thank you so much for joining the good fam. I appreciate you in the building. King Steven, you already know what time it is. Yo, if there's anybody that be on Twitter that I love reading his posts, that be feeling just as, so through with these sassy ass man fans as I do, baby, it is definitely the King Steven X. Steven be cooking people on Twitter and he just be going in. He be like, yo, Tank Davis, get his ass the fuck out of boxing. He's just as tired of the nonsense with Purple Pain Davis as I am. Okay? It's just sassy everywhere, King Steven. I don't know. I want no part of it. I want absolutely no part of it. Yeah, so let me get to this next thing, you guys, because this is very important. This is very multi-layered subject that I wanted to touch on with you guys, because I definitely want to know what you guys think as well. And this is, of course, touching Shakur Stevenson. I'm not sure if you guys, saw the interview that has been dropped and released with the motherfucker whose name I will not say, okay, but who has a recent interview on this particular platform. Crazy work going on, you guys. I did not watch the entire interview. I refused. First of all, what a motherfucking dull, odd, tepid interview that was. It was the worst discourse I've ever seen in my life. I don't even know if I can call that discourse. What the fuck was going on in that interview, brothers and sisters? Did you guys see that interview with Shakur Stevenson and that dude? Oh my God. Energy was weird. They were not able to communicate, there was not, it wasn't coherent. I don't know. People, he got to practice expressing himself. He is not a good speaker at all. And for that interview to have been as long as it was, there was no way in hell I was going to sit through that watching that man struggle to speak. Oh, Lord have mercy. But anywho, the fight with, of course, Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez has been officially announced. Which it took goddamn long enough, right? Because how long have we been, hearing, oh, the fight's nearly close to be made. Oh, it's 37% loading. Oh, this fight is 43% loading. You guys, is almost there now. 98%. You hear 98.1% ready. How long have we been hearing this fight, being said to, be closer and closer and closer to that? Now it's like, okay, fight's officially announced. That was good to see, with the fight poster, everything, and the date. I believe that fight is going to be taking place on the 31st of January. So it's signed, sealed, and done, right? It's a done deal. That fight is materialized, confirmed, all of that. So that's good news, because it was annoying as fuck, watching those people say, oh, give it about 1.3 seconds, you hear? 1.32 seconds. I was tired of that shit. So much I was almost saying, well, damn this goddamn fight. You know what I mean? Stop telling me that it's almost goddamn ready. How about you make it and you motherfucking tell me when you motherfucking done? Ooh, child. You could tell that I was quite perturbed by that. But anyway, it's done, confirmed everything else. Now, brothers and sisters, I will not cap. This is definitely a great fight. I think it's a great matchup, right? It's a fight that I have been at least having in my mind for quite a little bit of time. It's something that I have been wondering about over the years. Like, because ladies and gentlemen, I want to see Shakur Stevenson. I have always wanted to see Shakur Stevenson fight the best. I don't want to see no goddamn Zepedas. I don't want to see no goddamn Junto. No goddamn Yoshimi or whatever the hell his goddamn name was. Let's step up the damn comp. So that Teofimo Lopez has always been in my purview as far as a prospective opponent for him. I feel like this fight should have already materialized 2 years ago. I think that this fight is overdue. So that this fight, now being, made is a good thing, right? Definitely a good matchup for both men. Now, I would be remiss, however, to not call out, one, like I said, that it's overdue, but even more so, is it just me or is there an odd energy around this? Does anybody see the odd energy going on here with this fight with Teofimo Lopez? Right? So that it's a good fight, and everybody knows that it stands to be, or at least we would anticipate it being competitive, right? Say what we don't fuck with Teofimo Lopez, but we figured that we would anticipate seeing him bring something to the table, even though he has not performed, well, in my view, since goddamn, the Lomachenko fight. Real talk, right? We don't necessarily know what T.O. is going to show up. Are we going to get the T.O. that motherfucking Fort Claggett? Are we going to see the damn T.O. that was looking, a straight mess against Barboza back in May? Right? But we don't know what, it's, and also it's very, people are not really enthused. I don't really see anybody galvanized about this. So the fight was actually announced. Everybody knows that these people, at least we know Shakur Stevenson to be, or we consider him to be somebody of stature and potential and talent. Teofimo Lopez is considered a talented fighter, right? He's a good fighter to me. I don't rock with him, but he's, what I'm saying? So there's something embedded here that should stand to carry the sport a level of excitement for the fight itself within the sport. But it's just, I don't really feel the anticipation going on here. And that fight is only a month and a half away, ladies and gentlemen. I don't really see where people are really interested in this. Real talk. The energy is weird. And the energy is also weird from Core and T.O. themselves. I don't know. I've just been picking up on that. Both of these men, it's not just one-sided. Both of them have a weird energy around them as well. Real talk, both T.O. and Shakur, I don't know what's going on with them. You know what I mean? T.O. was always on some fraudulent, suspect ass type of energy time, right? But Shakur Stevenson, I don't know. For some reason, I'm just not able to stand beside him with the resounding enthusiasm that I once held. And that's because of how he has been moving and operating for some time. I sit back in observance of him. And as I said earlier, I'm not satisfied. I'm just not with what I see. I think that level of enthusiasm and gusto that I had for him as a real supporter is gone. Not that I don't support him, but the vehemence has dwindled. The vehemence has been depleted for me. Anybody else feel that? I don't know, because I know that he got his diehards and people that really, really rock with him on a huge level. So that I understand that, right? Because we've always considered Shakur Stevenson to be somebody of note, and we believed him to be somebody of immense talent. And I'm not taking that away from him. I still kind of hold those types of sentiments for him, but that he has not shown it, and that he constantly positions himself to not be in position to showcase that is what I have a problem with. It's not that I don't believe that he has the talent. I definitely do. But his moves have not allowed for him to exemplify what I believe he has. Do you guys understand that? That's just where I'm coming from with it. Right? So that he is withholding. It's almost, I can't say it's to the extreme of Tank Davis, but it's definitely a reflection of that particular energy where he is mirroring Tank Davis in that aspect as far as the refusal to be centered in the display of the greatness we believe and assume him to have. You get me? And I think this is what made the Teofimo fight so paramount a move. This is his most significant fight of his career, ladies and gentlemen. The fight that will be taking place with Teofimo on January 31st. Okay? Because this will be, this is his proving ground, in other words. Right? And the feeling and and it's because of that the feelings were gone from me, my vehemence for him and about him. have quelled a bit. I think that the feelings of those, like my reticence about him was kind of amplified and compounded when I saw this particular interview that he gave during the week. Like all of the feelings of reticence that I've had about him were compounded. After I saw this interview, I was reminded of why I had lost luster for Shakur Stevenson when I listened to this interview, ladies and gentlemen. My suspicions were reinforced upon watching this interview. Okay. Now, I have absolutely no problem. I have to preface this here. I have absolutely no problem with any fighter, whatever, who exudes a level of confidence in their abilities, who is completely, solid in their belief as far as their centeredness and their union with their craft, right? Their ferocity, the exemplifying of that, the belief in oneself, in other words. No problem whatever with that. However, in seeing Shakur Stevenson in this particular interview that was released some days ago, seeing him up there talking about how he is the face of boxing and that he will be the face of boxing when he beats Teofimo Lopez, just had me in a feeling of utter disassociation from him. I'm like, bro, I get you. You know what I mean? But no. Face of boxing, not yet. You can definitely have that path laid out. You definitely can, young sir, 1000%. And I salute you on the path to that. Yes, I do. Okay. But you're not the face of boxing when you beat Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez is your first fight of significance, and I don't know how long. In fact, I posit that Teofimo Lopez is the most significant name that he has faced ever. Ever. That's what I posit. Up until this point, Teofimo is the most significant and notable name that he would have faced come January 31st. Okay? Now, I've backed Shakur Stevenson for many, many years. I can't even tell you how many years, right? And like I said, I still have hope for him, even though I have absolved the level, I have absolved from the level of vehemence that I once had because of his move. I still definitely believe in what he can be. However, this is another man in boxing, ladies and gentlemen, whose moves absolutely perplex me. I mean, to the core, right? He and Tank Davis. I'm absolutely befuddled by these men. Right? And these are the two men who have introduced me, to the level of passion that I have for the sport. These were among the men who gave me that passion coming back into boxing. All those years ago. It was in looking at the young Shakur Stevenson. It was looking at the young Tank Davis, right? Amid all of the other men that I love in the sport, right? They were among that for me. Okay. And I have a thing about lefties because I am a lefty, right? And so Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson were like my ones, right? But it's just like, I have been so disenchanted by the moves of these men that I'm left absolutely perplexed in looking at the continued inconsistencies, if you will. It's just crazy to me. Anyway, brothers and sisters, Shakur Stevenson is more or less in the proving grounds for me as a fighter. I'll say that. Okay. He beat Jamel Herring. He beat Oscar Valdez. That's all he's damn done. And he has not done anything since then, brothers and sisters. Let's keep it a goddamn stack. Okay. He moved up to 135 and accomplished absolutely nothing. Nothing since entering 135. How long has he been at this division, brothers and sisters? What has this man accomplished at 135? Like I said, salute to the young king, but we're going to speak plainly today. We're not going to add sugar to nothing over here. The biggest thing of note that this man, Shakur Stevenson, has done at 135 was duck undisputed with Devin Haney. That is the biggest thing of note that he has done. That is the most prominent movement or ill movement that he made since entering 135, brothers and sisters. He ducked undisputed with Devin. That's the most notable thing he has done. Facts or no? That's the thing that he has done that sticks out most significantly, most prominently in the division, was duck undisputed. Okay? So he ducked undisputed only to acquire a belt that Devin Haney vacated upon leaving the division. This motherfucker's biggest acclaim is getting a strap that Devin Haney let go of because he moved up after becoming under. You know what I'm saying? It's just devastating to me, you guys. Let's not act like this shit is not a reality. You got a strap. You became quote unquote champion at 135 because Devin vacated and went on to bigger and better things at the divisions above. Okay? Let's not avoid or evade the facts. That's his acclaim, brothers and sisters. Let's think about that. Let's resonate on that. We have to look at things plainly. Shakur Stevenson is looking like a scavenger, brothers and sisters. Real talk. He's looking like a scavenger. He scavenged the belt that Devin Haney left behind, the scraps. Once the young lion Devin Haney was done eating, he threw the scraps at Shakur Stevenson. That's what's going on here. That's his championship. Okay? Crazy work to me, but it's the truth. This motherfucker Shakur Stevenson is a scavenger, ladies and gentlemen. Or at least that's what he's shown up until this point. You go into the lion's den, the lions, they do the business. The lions hunt, they claim, they make the kill, and they feast. What is Shakur Stevenson hunting, brothers and sisters? This nigga's a scavenger. He's been acting like a scavenger at 135. And I'm questioning, what he'll do after Teofimo Lopez, right? Apparently, he got some courage to get on a hunt now with Teofimo Lopez, which I am happy to see, right? But prior to this motherfucker was eating the scraps that the lion left behind. I have not seen Shakur Stevenson's intent to hunt, in other words. Ladies and gentlemen, where is his vehemence? Where is his severity and temerity? It has been non-existent. So that this fight with Teofimo Lopez is the first signs of life in Shakur Stevenson that I have seen, I don't even know in how long. Finally, some fucking signs of life. Motherfucker has been zombified these past few years with these lackluster ass fights, fighting goddamn Padley and your goddamn Zepedas and calling Zepeda like he's fucking Canelo. Teofimo Lopez, brothers and sisters, is a step in the right direction for the young Shakur, right? I like this fight, good for him. But I have my doubts if young Shakur Stevenson will continue to pursue opportunities that demand of him that he pass through fire. I have doubts about that. Even though this is a good step in the right direction with the Teo fight. I worry about the subsequent moves. The subsequent moves. What will be done after this? Is he going to continue on the path? Because remember, brothers and sisters, we had high hopes when we saw Purple Pain Davis take the fight with Frank Martin. We were like, oh, hopefully he's on an upward, path now. Hopefully there is some mobility upward, right? We started to get a renewed sense of faith for Tank Davis when he took the fight with Frank Martin, right? Not necessarily a fight that the boxing world was calling for or prying for, so to speak, but that when it was made, everybody was galvanized around it because it's like, oh, Frank Martin's a good fighter. I mean, he's bring the slick boxing. He got the power, right? So that we were excited about it. We were wondering if upward mobility would ensue for Tank Davis after that, only to find hell to the fucking no. Downward spiral like a motherfucker. Picked up a cherry pick that went all the way wrong with Lamont Roach. Arguably got beaten in that fight, only to duck and evade like a I don't know what the fuck, and jump in the arms of goddamn Jake Paul, who made an AI of him tonguing that man down. So that it was just, downward spiral to say the least, right? So that we have been hopeful before. I'm wondering if it'll be a downward spiral after this TO fight. I would like to think not, because there is so much in store as far as, the potential that we all hope and believe is there within Shakur Stevenson that we would like to see and be in support of. But I have my doubts, as I said earlier. Okay. And real talk, Shakur Stevenson proves further and further, as I listened to him, and particularly as I listened to this interview that was released recently a few days ago, as I listened to the surrounding parlance, as I listened to him explicate or try to explicate his motives and things like that, it's looking like he's going to remain a motherfucking scavenger throughout his career, so long as he maintains that mentality that he is showing. He may just be a motherfucking permanent ass scavenger ass fighter that happens to be a name that people recognize as talented, but never moves beyond the line. That's what I don't want from him. But this mentality that this man showcased in this interview, you guys, oh my goodness, the future did not look bright with the sentiments that he expressed on that platform. I'd like to be shown otherwise, but if he continues with the current mindset that this man holds, he will continually be relegating himself to a second-rate fighter, despite all of his potential, despite all of his beauty, all of his supposed and alleged gifts. He will relegate himself to that status so long as he holds that mentality. Now, in the interview, brothers and sisters, Shakur Stevenson addressed the boxing fans, or just the outlier, the surrounding outlining community of fans who have been calling out the alacrity in which he has been pursuing Conor Benn, rather than taking a serious approach towards Devin Haney. He spoke on this in the interview, right? And this particular clip, if you guys are on Twitter or whatever, has been socially circulating around social media, if you guys haven't seen it. But in this particular clip, the response that Shakur Stevenson gave is what was absolutely astounding to me. Okay? The response that this man gave to justify his position in why he has not been approaching Devin, and presumably why he has no intention of pursuing Devin for a fight, was dumbfounded. I was left absolutely dumbfounded, to say the least. Now, I was so appalled, good people. It really just, how can I say this? It made me disgusted for this era of boxing as a whole. And looking at what he said, I was disgusted for the era as a whole. I'm like, oh my God, get this the fuck out of boxing. Pack it up, zip it up, and get this shit the fuck out of here. It's a cancer to the sport. And if this mentality persists and is allowed to evade, and multiply, I don't know what the hell is the future going to be for the sport if this mindset persists and if it catches on. Okay? I could not believe that such a cowardly, heartless, timorous mentality could be accepted by the boxing world and unchallenged by the interviewer and the boxing world alike. He cannot sit up here and say these things and go left unchallenged, you guys. Absolutely disgusted when I heard that. Anyway, this is what Shakur Stevenson had to say. I wrote it down for y'all. This is a quote. Shakur Stevenson says in response to the Devin Haney and the why he is so alacritous in his approach to Conor versus Devin. This is what he said. He said, they're like, oh, you're attacking Conor Benn, but you're not saying Devin. Here's the thing. where it's like, Conor Ben, if I go to the UK, we're going to fight in front of 50,000 people. If I fight Devin, we're going to stay at T-Mobile, MGM, maybe 12, 15, 20 even. We'll use a big number and say 20,000, right? The difference in size of the people that we're fighting in front of would be a business of how much you're getting for this fight or how much you're getting for that fight. It just boils down to business. I fight any of these guys. That's the statement, you guys. Did you hear this nonsense? Did you hear the excuse, the attempt of the half-baked excuse that he gave? What in the duck sauce is going on here, you guys? What in the duck goose is going on here, you guys? Did y'all hear that shit? Did that statement sound like he'd fight anybody or I'd fight any of these guys? Is the statement that I read for you, did that sound anywhere near like somebody who is ready to fight any of these guys, as he alleged? Does that sound like he wants to fight Devin? More specifically? Did anything in that statement say, yo, get Devin on the line today? After I take care and wash up Tiafimo, I want Devin next. Did you get that energy? There was the heat and the smoke on deck in the statement for Devin that I just read for you, brothers and sisters? Or was that some fucking tepid, passive ass bullshit? Was that some fucking duckery going on? Blatant duckery. There are so many levels of disgust that I felt and that I feel in reading that statement for y'all that I can't even disclose the levels. Okay. I feel so disgusted. I don't even have enough time. I don't even think we'll have enough time to unfold how disgusted I am. We'll be here for fucking 2 days. Okay. One of the atrocities that I will call out, brothers and sisters, within the statement, because there were many of them, just in the statement alone. Y'all didn't even watch the interview. Go watch the interview in its entirety, and you will see even more than that. But just within this little excerpt of the statement, okay, was replete with atrocities. Okay, and one of those was, for me, within the statement of the mindset, is this unfounded, baseless, bizarre tale and an inference that he is trying to make in assuming that Conor Wen, as the Trill Bill calls him, Conor Wen, which is the perfect name for this bum, he is trying to assume that Conor Wen is some kind of big star. When the fuck did Conor Ben become a big star, brothers and sisters? Can somebody let me know? I think I missed the fucking email on that one. I ain't get the text on this nigga's level of stardom. All of a sudden, mysteriously, Conor Ben is hot shit. When the fuck did that happen? Brothers and sisters, Conor's most significant fight took place, what was that? A week or two ago, and also earlier in the year, and that was the fight, the initial fight and the rematch against Eubank Jr. The man did not a motherfucking thing more significant than that. That was his most significant fight and display in the entirety of his career. And the fight wasn't even of his own accord. The fight wasn't even carried by his own stature as a fighter. This fight rolled the esteem and the accreditation of the fathers of both men. Nobody was signing up because, we want to see the great, Conor Ben, just, whatever, you know what I'm saying? People showed up by the droves in support of this fight both times because of the legacy their fathers created. That is why that fight was a big deal over there in Europe. Where the fuck did Conor Ben sell out any goddamn thing of note back home in the UK prior to getting in the ring with Eubank? He did nothing in the UK. So who the fuck is he to assume that he would bring, motherfucking the Queen of England back from the goddamn grave to watch his ass fight? He has done nothing of significance in his career. Except fight Eubank Jr., which was predicated on the legacies that their fathers had created. Excuse me? He has accomplished nothing of his own accord. Nothing. This fight rested on the legacy of their fathers. Conor Ben has accomplished nothing in the sport of boxing, brothers and sisters. He has never even fought for a European title. That part. He has not even fought for a European title, a Commonwealth title, a regional fucking title. Nothing in his own fucking country. And it goes without saying that if he done that, he never fought a fucking champion. I mean, it goes without saying. I don't need to explicate that. Motherfucker never fought for shit. No level of championship or title or status. Never. In any point in his career. Nothing. Never. What the fuck is Shakur Stevenson chasing, brothers and sisters, within this fantasy that he has, set up in his mind about Conor Ben? What the fuck has this man accomplished? Never fought for a single title in his life. Accomplished nothing. What is the supposition that he stands to gain, any fucking thing by fighting Conor when? Where the fuck does he get this from? What is this mindset that's just falling out the sky? Like, Conor Ben is fucking Anthony Joshua or something like that. Motherfucker ain't achieved shit. He's a fucking bum. This nigga got, his chest poked out because he beat a nigga that fucking mollywopped his ass early in the year. He fucked you up early in the year. Okay, you got one up on him. He got one up on you. Y'all 1-1. What the fuck? How the fuck did you become the queen of motherfucking Congo? It's crazy work to me, you guys. The supposition that Conor Ben is, he's the man of gold. He's Mansa Musa out this bitch. What? What is going on here? Absolutely diabolical. Moreover, brothers and sisters, it was crazy. The implication, that he has more to offer than the young King Devin. What? This is the supposition that he has more to offer because he is a UK fighter, and it's alleged that the UK will come out in droves to support him because he is this big star over there. And I stand to get more eyes. This is what Shakur Stevenson is saying. Oh, I'll fight in front of 80 million, thousand, quadrillion, trillion, zillion people, y'all, over in the UK now. What? Says who? He ain't shit in his own goddamn backyard. When did he sell anything prior to this Eubank legacy bloodline matchup? Never. What was his pay-per-views? Did he sell out anything gargantuan? As far as size of an arena or stadium or, event space, whatever have you? What is going on? Was he on pay-per-view prior to Eubank? I mean, it's crazy to me. The narrative, the lore that is being created around, this contrived, power and esteem and accreditation of Conor Ben. It does not exist, brothers and sisters. What the fuck is he pulling out of his ass? Because it's certainly not reality. Is he fucking smoking? It's so outlandishly preposterous, good people, that I can't even grasp the level of imbecility that it takes for him to even mentally go there, to assume such a thing. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm like, this can't be real, Shakur Stevenson. You cannot be that deluded, as to make up something so nonsensical and baseless. It's crazy to me. And he's not being held accountable. Motherfucker sitting on the couch, just letting him talk. Nonsense. And you got some crazy ass people out here just, lamping it up and going along with the storyline. That's absolutely baseless. He goes on in the interview, brothers and sisters, to be asked about Abdullah Mason at a particular segment in the interview. And just when I thought it couldn't get worse, as if that whole spiel about an excuse about Devin wasn't, absolutely abhorrent on every level. Here goes another one. He says, you know what, Mars, Goddess, Sugar Free. Okay. I'm going to discuss you even further. And I'm like, God damn, nigga, you ain't gonna let up. He like, nope. If I'm a coward, I'm gonna go all the way, baby. This motherfucker, what he said when he was asked about Abdullah? In another cowardly, diffident attempt, Shakur Stevenson deflects from any possibility of smoke with Abdullah Mason when he was asked about him. This motherfucker deferred instead to the excuse that, oh, he's so young. Oh, I couldn't possibly fight him. Oh, well, actually, I'd give him an opportunity. I'd get it in. You try to clean it up. I'd get it in, with each other. But you know what? He's just so young. There's a difference. There's levels, There's levels. There's a difference, between where he is now as a fighter, as opposed to where he will be at some point, in the near future, possibly that he will ever, hope to achieve to be. This is the motherfucker sitting on that couch talking like this, good people. He is too young, and there's levels to this now. You hear? This is the reasoning. This is the excuse. Do you hear this? Brothers and sisters, the young Abdullah Mason is 21 years old. He will be 22 this year, sometime in the spring, I believe. Okay? This is not a fucking child, in other words, brothers and sisters. Also, please refresh my memory. Wasn't Mike Tyson something like 20 years old when he became the man, when he became champion? Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't he the man, right? At 20, when he attained championship? Dula is a champion, ladies and gentlemen. That's a grown fucking man in there. That's not nobody's boy in that ring. Okay? He is a champion. Who the fuck is Shakur Stevenson talking to that he feels he could sit on some fucking high throne, some goddamn where in the clouds, talking and sunning a champion in his goddamn division, or who was, whatever division. I don't know where he is now. He's bouncing between 35 and 40, I guess, right now. That's a fucking champion. Does that motherfucker have a strap or nah? Excuse me? You think you're going to be able to live fucking scot-free where I am on my territory, and I'm going to let you live peacefully, and you got a strap on my turf? You better sleep with one eye open at all times if I'm a champion in any goddamn weight class. Are you kidding me? You will have no peace. Ever. I'm always hunting. You're going to have to always be on the lookout for me. I'm on the motherfucking prowl. The lioness is going hunting, baby. Excuse me? Oh, no, he's too young now. He could live peacefully and frolic among the daisies in the field. I'm not really gunning for him. This nigga got a whole strap in a division that you've been in there for I don't even know how many years now. 3 years, something like that. And you letting this man live peacefully? Meanwhile, young Abdullah's on absolute demon time at all times. Like, yes, I will get it popping with any of them. Point me in the direction. I ain't got no friends in this sport. Only brothers are my blood brothers. Everybody else is food. That's young Abdullah. What is going on with mentality? Who's really the child? Who's really too young? Because apparently Shakur is mentally absolutely immature compared to that of the young Abdullah. Young Abdullah is on war mode when it comes to 135 and what he wants to attain in that division. Excuse me? Man, sitting on some type of high horse about, oh, he's so young. Yeah, I'd give him an opportunity, but he's so young. What the fuck kind of excuse is that? Are you here to battle or now? The fuck are we doing? This nigga got a whole strap. This is a whole champion. How dare you try to overlook him? It's disgusting to me, you guys. I was repulsed. This nigga sit up here trying to son Abdullah. This is the man that says, oh, I want to be undisputed. I want to collect all the belts one by one by one by one. Only to turn around and duck, try to evade and act like you too cute to fight somebody. What? Is that warrior talk, you guys, or am I missing something here? That don't sound like no fucking warrior code to me. Do you want this work or not? Are you trying to fight the best or not? This man got a strap in your division. He is automatically assumed as one of the kings there. What? What kind of pussy ass mentality is this, brothers and sisters? For a nigga that got a whole strap in your weight class? You would rather only fight, what, 30-year-olds? He gotta qualify and meet a fucking age, requirement or something like that. Is there a prerequisite to fight you? You gotta be of a certain age, 28, 29, 30 or better? What the fuck is going on here? What is this justification that's trying to be made? This man is outrightly making up every excuse, every pardon possible to avoid whatever level of competition he deems to be a threat to him. Absolutely unacceptable, brothers and sisters. Let's put this into further context. He would rather call out Conor Benn, beautiful people, a motherfucker who achieved nothing compared to the 21-year-old too young Abdullah Mason. Conor Benn ain't achieved shit compared to Abdullah. Abdullah is a champion. Conor never even fought for a belt before. And you trying to turn your nose up and son Abdullah, who is more accomplished than the nigga you getting wet for? Make it make sense. You want to sit up there and gasconade and boast about the young Abdullah? As if, his being 21, 22 years old has any level of significance in the pursuit of your championship that you say you want for yourself, in the pursuit of the legacy that you have claimed that you want for yourself. Fuck out my face with that soft ass talk. That's crazy to me. I'm so utterly disgusted. I can't even go on about that, brothers and sisters. I'll turn up. But, this is precisely why I have posited that Shakur Stevenson may likely be doomed. I hate to see it, but this trajectory that he is on, the upholding of this mindset that he is holding, is part and parcel, of being relegated to, being a peripheral fighter, to being in a perpetual state of remaining on the periphery of the boxing world. With that type of mindset, he is relegating himself to that status. With that mindset, I was appalled listening to that man. There is no way he can excel to the heights of a great with that posture or demeanor. What? Let's not make any exemptions for this nigga, y'all. Listen to what that man said. Go do a juxtaposition with other things that he said over the years. Hold them side by side. And look at the inconsistencies that I am talking about. But the one thing that seems to be the thread of consistency is his reluctance to fight Devin. That's the one consistent thing. That's the constant. Is that there's always some type of level of evasion. He will always take and opt for that avenue. He'll turn to the left, to the right, and never look at the motherfucker in front of him with his name on a hit list. with the man that was in front of him that offered him a shot at undisputed or 4 bouts and said, come fight me. Excuse me? I don't like the stuff that I'm seeing here, and it's quite disheartening considering, what we, I guess, generally speaking, overwhelmingly believe to be a very talented young brother in Shakur Stevenson. I do not like or support his moves. Okay? And there is still a reticence, even though he has taken on the challenge to get the fight done with Teofimo Lopez, there is still an exemplification of the reticence when it comes to other people who are on smoke time. I don't believe that he finds Teofimo to be a real threat. I believe that he feels he can conquer unquestionably Teofimo Lopez, and I quite agree with that. I think that Shakur Stevenson will be victorious in that fight. Okay, even though I can see where it could be a tit for tat possibly, right? I still overwhelmingly favor Shakur Stevenson in that fight, but I think it is probably because he feels overwhelmingly confident in his ability to be victorious in that fight that he took it, as opposed to his approach when it comes to people that really pose to be a threat to him stylistically, like Abdullah, like Devin, or whatever, so forth and so on. There is a reticence over there, but he is alacritous when it comes to Teofimo Lopez or your Zepedas or whoever he feels he could have the edge over, unquestionably, right? It's crazy to me. After this fight with Teofimo Lopez, I would not be at all surprised to find, his level of competition once again dwindling back to some level of subpar, whatever. I would hate to see that. I would like to think that there is no downward spiral, but that he'll continue to, mobilize himself and up the ante. But I don't know. This level of reticence when it comes to Devin show, it just proves to me that he is not ready for that level of elite competition and challenge. He is not ready for that. He does not want to align with that. That is what that's showing me. And until he proves otherwise, that's where I will keep him relegated. In my mind's eye, he will remain there until he proves me otherwise. No matter the high hopes that I have had for him or still have for him, he will stay there until he shows me otherwise. He cannot be pussyfooting around like this anymore. Young Abdullah is on smoke time saying, I will fight anybody, anywhere. You point me in the direction, I am there. This motherfucker talk about, oh, he too young. What? Absolutely disgusting. Meanwhile, this motherfucker is getting wet. Dripping wet over Conor Ben, a motherfucker who ain't accomplished a motherfucking thing except holding his father's last name. Disgusting work to me, you guys. Speaking of disgusting, and the cowardice, Rolly Romero took and wasted absolutely no time in showing his exposing pink, if you will, level of cowardice. Only took what, 2 weeks since the fight now with Devin Haney. Wasted no time in ducking. Okay? How is it that it is so accepted, this level of cowardice in boxing? Where the fuck is the boxing world dragging Rolly Romero through the mud right now? Where is it? Did you hear what the fuck this man said? Did you hear what this man said, brothers and sisters? This man is on camera, unabashedly ducking and making excuses for the duckery of Devin Haney. Like he's just picking daffodils in a fucking spring. Oh, no, I don't think I'm ever gonna fight Devin Chow. Do you hear this? How is this being accepted? How is this man not being demolished among boxing media right now? I'll tell you why. Because these people are in absolute support of the blockading of the path and mobility of Devin. That is why people are so compliant. That is why people are so silent right now because they do not want Devin to unify with Rolly Romero. That is the reality, brothers and sisters. He came off an astounding victory, became a champ, and they do not want to see the succession. They don't want to see it. They don't want to see the thriving of excellence. It's disgusting to me. Every time I turn around, to the left of me, to the right of me, there are grown men in this sport assuming a timid, cowering, fawning position. Submissive, afraid, timid. What is this? Are these the men in boxing today? What the fuck am I looking at? Grown-ass men goddamn cowering. So-called supposed champions cowering, ducking, evading, running with their fucking nails up, away from competition, away from their own potential. It's not masculine out here, brothers and sisters. What are these men out here doing? What is this energy from people that, are supposedly, among the best? Or that we have, supposed to be the best up until this particular point. What is this energy? I came across this clip, brothers and sisters, the other day on social media, where Rolly was asked about, a couple of things. One of the things being Bill Haney and the fact that, he was calling him out. And of course, Devin Debo, right, is on the pursuit for that ass. Debo is on his bike circling the block looking for that ass, right? So Rolly was asked about that. This fucking pussy, Rolly said, oh, my goodness, you guys. This is what he said. This is a quote. Rolly said, "Why didn't they call me out after I beat Ryan? Why didn't they call me out directly after they beat Norman? Why did they sit down and try to play all that humble stuff? Me and Devin, we're never going to fight. I want nothing to do with that fight. Like I said way back when, I believe he should go do his rematch with Ryan." It's what that man said, brothers and sisters. Do you hear how abhorrent, vile, and disgusting that statement is? Me and Devin are never going to fight. I don't want nothing to do with that fight. Do you hear this? I was absolutely repulsed, you guys, and still am. Now, the interviewer, instead of, bringing a level of accountability and holding his ass to the stake and pressing the issue of why he would say something like that as a fighter and as a champion at 47, the fucking pussy ass goddamn interviewer opted to cuss at Rolly and bring up Manny Pacquiao as a better option, to which Rolly said the following, quote, "I mean, what sounds better? What's the bigger fight?" And the guy says, "Pacquiao," right? And then Rolly goes on to say, "But we don't even know if that fight is happening, so I don't care, man. I just go with whatever happens. If it goes this way, I go this way. If it goes that way, I go that way." You guys, I really just can't make this stuff up. I really cannot make this stuff up. That's what he said. If it goes this way, I'm going this way. If it goes that way, child, that way I'm going. What the fuck? What is this? Is this boxing? Or is this fucking one life to goddamn live? What is going on? It's just so spineless. It's a spinelessness, brothers and sisters, that I just cannot deal with in looking at it. You know what I mean? It's one thing in saying, I don't know, it's not that I would accept this, but it's one thing in saying, I'd rather have a tune up, before I fight Devin, or, I don't know. I don't know what the excuse would be. Nothing is acceptable to me. But that this man has blatantly stated, I'm never going to fight Devin. I don't want anything to do with that fight. It's absolutely crazy to me. And this is a fucking belt holder. Why don't he just drop the goddamn belts and go fucking, skip to my goddamn lose some goddamn where? The fuck are you holding the belt for? If you are not trying to compete with the other kings in the division, the other belt holders. You want to fight a fucking 73,000-year-old man in Manny Pacquiao. And this nigga's not even interested in you. He don't have his eyes on you right now. At least that is what I have heard. Not even interested. That's why he said, I don't even know if that fight's going to happen. Yeah, nigga. Pacquiao is focused on other things. Who the fuck are you to sway, his attention from whatever he's intending to do? Like you bring anything of fucking worth as a name. I don't even think he would be interested in, I guess, is, fighting for that belt. But, obviously you don't hold enough significance, you or your fucking belt, because whatever he's looking at, he is not being dissuaded from to turn around to look at you and entertain you. He don't give a damn about you. And you would turn your nose up at unification? On top of that, get this fucking chump the fuck out of boxing. This cowardice is disgusting to me. These people are not here on real, trying to stand 10 toes on some real shit. These niggas out here acting like divas is disgusting to me. The spinelessness is disgusting to me. Who are these niggas? These are some bitch motherfuckers up in the sport. I want them to fuck out of here, if I'm going to be blatantly honest. It's crazy. Bitch made from fucking head to toe. What is this? How the fuck you out here looking, calling yourself a champion holding a goddamn strap, and you over here fucking tiptoeing around smoke? Drop the goddamn belts. Go elsewhere. What is this? It's crazy to me, you guys. This is the mentality that I was talking about in the preface, in our opening segment of the discussion, where I'm saying, what is it that we are going to be carrying into 26, brothers and sisters? This fuckery cannot, continue or be supported. How is the boxing world silent about this man's disgusting sentiments expressed in that clip? He should not be handled with care at this particular time. Not talking like that. No fucking fighter should be. And then you got fighters out here about that valiance, about that temerity, who these motherfuckers shred on a daily basis. And they the only ones stepping on real goddamn time. And these motherfuckers are so quick to bop their goddamn gums, speaking against them and detracting from the real warriors. Meanwhile, these suckers could go leaking on they fucking pussies, leaking the whole juice every goddamn where, and nobody got shit to say about that. Diabolical to me. Hoe ass niggas giving 1,000 passes, and the real ones standing on 10 toes, repping on code, are lambasted and castigated for nothing. Crazy work. I was repulsed, revolted, absolutely just through the roof as far as my level of disgust in hearing, Teofimo Lopez express that fucking, not Teofimo, Rolly, whatever the fuck his name is, Rolly, express that level of cowardice. And same thing with, Shakur Stevenson with the sentiments that he had expressed for Abdullah Mason and the young king. Disgusting work. There's enough fucking cowardice to last me a goddamn lifetime. I don't need no more. Those two motherfuckers, ran the gamut on goddamn cowardice. What? Ooh, child. Let me check in with the good family. I cannot wait to see what you guys thought about that. And have you guys seen that? Did you see that clip? The picture that I have of Rolly in the center of the thumbnail is from that actual interview that I'm talking about. The picture that I have of Shakur, of course, is from that interview that I referenced as well. Cowardice. Absolute cowardice. I could not believe it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me check in with the good family. Salute to the King Freedom in the building. I see you, King Freedom. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Always good to see the king. My twin says, yeah, Shakur saying he's the face of boxing was wild. He could have taken a step towards that by fighting Devin for undisputed. Exactly. It isn't like he hadn't had the opportunities to express that, to actualize that. We wanted to see his greatness embarked upon. He chose not to. He chose not to. For the reason why I say that he is relegating himself, in a state of, being a scavenger, a second-rate fucking fighter. He's putting himself in that position. It's not that we, somebody like me wants to see him there, because I know that he can, he has the potential to express, to be a radiant young brother in the sport. Okay, I believe that of him, but my belief, is just that, belief, until it's proven. You got to get out there and you got to do that. Devin cannot be out here, doing the only goddamn heavy lifting. And now motherfuckers can see why I'm so staunch in my support of the young King Devin, why I'm so staunchly supportive of the journey of the young Abdullah, because that's the type of heart that I back. Okay? Whatever the challenge, I'm going to go get that. I'm going to go take that. That's the spirit that my men hold. Okay? That's the spirit that Wilder held. That's the spirit that EJ held. That's the spirit that Devin exemplifies. That's what I see burning inside the young Abdullah. That's what I see burning in the young King David Benavidez. These people are not, they're not half stepping out here. They trying to get it. And they trying to do it their biggest one. Come what may. But I'm going to take the risk and I'm going to go there. Ain't no goddamn, recoiling away from, making senseless ass, Oshios, excuses. Purposeless, baseless excuses. Oh, he's too young. Oh, he's too tall now. You hear, I don't like, maybe he just had, if he cut his hair a little bit, lower to the side and did a fade and blended his fade a little bit, I'll fight him. What the fuck is this? That don't sound like no fucking boxing to me. Warrior mentality to me. Salute to the California love in the building. California love in New York all day. Salute to the King Insane in the building. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. Yes. Yes, King Steven. Ain't he? Ain't he? I'm just sitting back and I'm looking at that clip like I had to watch it twice just to make sure that I was, what I was processing was actually what I was hearing. I had to watch that shit twice. King Steven. Absolutely amazed. I was awed by what I heard. I'm like, what? Let me run this shit the fuck back because I don't think I heard what I heard. Turns out I heard what the fuck I heard. Wild work, you guys. Absolutely wild work. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it, you guys. I'm just scrolling. The twin says, Rolly is retarded. Somebody is pulling the strings behind him. Most likely Floyd Mayweather. Child. I don't know if this motherfucker got strings to pull, in all honesty, because you got to be absolutely, your imbecility has to be on a whole nother level to say something like that. You know what I mean? And, you know, I have not ever been a fan of Rolly per se, not his fighting. You know what I mean? I found him to be funny and an interesting character in the sport of boxing, right? But I have never considered him, to be among my ones. But of course, in seeing him defeat Ryan Garcia, it brought an interesting. He's an interesting character, and there he was in defeating Ryan Garcia. He brought an interesting dynamic to the overall landscape of boxing, right? In his defeat of him, so it's like, okay, well, he beat him and stuff like that. And as we were waiting to see if that rematch was going to happen, which it didn't, because Ryan didn't want no smoke, okay, with the rematch with Rolly. What he was going to do from then on was what it was. And of course, the 147, Devin coming in there and doing a damn thing in spectacular fashion. I'm like, all right, so it makes sense. Devin is not going to want anything but the best. Of course, he's going to look to the left and the right of him and say, all right, which one of the champions want to get it? Because we know how Devin is stepping. What's the name is tied up with the 70,000-year-old Pacquiao. So that's off the table. And so, the most, thing that makes sense is to get the Rolly. And Rolly, within a matter of days, right? Because it only took Devin a few days, to get on his bike and start riding around the block as Depot, headhunting. Yeah, nigga, you next. Was popping. I want you next. Was good. Depot was on the goddamn prowl within days, 2-3 days of his victory against Norman Jr. And here this motherfucker is wasting no time and goddamn ducking for cover. It's crazy to me. The boxing world really is, as much as I love the sport, and there's so many, fighters that, they're the ones that I respect and admire that really keep me tied very passionately to the sport. There are other things that just, are just so unhinged to me that, it really leaves me, oh my God. I just be so through with it. When I'm looking at it, I was like, what is this? How the fuck is this allowed? We see people get, absolutely demolished and obliterated, for less. Meanwhile, the shit that we should be holding to the goddamn stake and looking to eradicate completely and bring a level of accountability to goes left unaddressed. It's given the blind eye. It's crazy to me. It's absolutely irrational. Rolly should be getting absolutely destroyed right now, you guys, on every goddamn level from the conscious boxing community, which I'm sure the brothers and sisters, if they have not cooked on it already, will do so. The real ones, that who we know and love, who are on this thing for real. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But, just put this into context, people. How many times have they, try to insinuate over the years that Devin Haney was trying to duck somebody? Absolutely unfounded, baseless, logic. Not backed in any fact whatsoever outside of gossip. How many people have they said, Boots ducked, oh, EJ ducked, or this person ducked, this person ducked. What? Meanwhile, here's a fucking clear example. This man is on fire with the duckery. Bright lights. He got bright lights. He got goddamn glitter on him. Everything to catch your attention towards the duckery. And people acting like they don't fucking see this shit. Same thing with Shakur Stevenson. He's going to get it. He's going to be given an easy pass with the nonsense he stated about Abdullah and Devin. Crazy work to me, you guys. No, this stuff is not. Oh my goodness! Salute to the good sister, Nick J in the building. Salute to the beautiful queen. Lovely to see you, sis. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Lovely to see you. Give my regards to the Queen Boxiana as well. Always good to see my sisters in the building. Yes, Queen Mama Chiquila, right? 1,000. 1,000. King Khalid is in the building. Salute to you if I didn't salute you earlier. He says, honestly, goddess, SugarFreeMars, I'm not shocked at Rolly's bitchness. It's par for the course of boxing journey's definition. Real talk, and it's sadly, as strange as it is, it really is being normalized. We are seeing this kind of as a trend. It's being cosseted. It's being seen as cute. These excuses that these people can make. People are actually generating excuses to make for fighters now, right? And so that they ride each other's bandwagon of excuses. Some of these media outlets, some of these journalists or whatever have you, are circulating and pushing, the lore that supports, these falsities and, this cowardly mindset that's going on. And the fighters themselves are adapting it, and the media is adapting it. They're just passing it, back and forth to each other, until it becomes one big acceptable ball of bullshit. That is just an accepted mindset, as a whole. No, I don't accept the bull. If I see it, nigga, you know what I mean? Keep that. That's bullshit. I'm going to call it for what the fuck it is. This shit is not right. It's disgusting. And it's doing nothing, to solidify what we are all here for, which is to watch and support, and witness men being made. Greatness being made among the men and women who uphold the sport. This evasion is not doing anything for the betterment or for the good of boxing. This evasion that we are seeing from Rolly. This cowardice, this blatant cowardice that we are seeing. That he could feel so pompous enough and so free enough and comfortable enough to say something like that on camera. And be not held accountable for it. It's diabolical on every level, y'all. I get disgusted by that. Let me check in to see what else y'all was talking about up in here. Yes, King of Condo. Devin is already locked in the Hall of Fame, 1,000% at this very moment, 1,000%. And that still does not quell or satiate his desire and drive, to continue and achieve further than he has already, even with all that he has done. That's the type of spirit that, represents the sport that I love, and that's the old spirit that has been in, countless men that we have known and appreciated throughout the sports history of our beautiful, upright brothers. He carries that spirit. And I give my salutation and respect to any fighter who exemplifies that level of courage and tenacity, and just the pursuit of making oneself, in one's craft. That's what it's about for me. You know what I'm saying? Ain't it, twin? I scrolled up a little bit. Scavenger is a good description. Vulture energy. Ain't it? Motherfucker on the sidelines, waiting for the heavy lifting to be done, to go get some scraps. Or when he sees something has been depreciated a little bit, that's when he'll go in and swoop in for the kill, right? When something has dwindled down a little bit, you know what I mean? I hate to see that, because to me, in my mind, I have always envisioned him to be so much better than that, just latent with all types of potential and skill that can get him through whatever challenge that he faces. But I don't know if these fighters believe in themselves. It sounds cute for him to sit up there and call himself the face of boxing, but it's a whole nother thing to motherfucking go out there and walk the goddamn walk. You know what I mean? These people just want to be propped up, and held up and with lights around them, but they don't want to get in there and, prove their kingship. They want the crown to be put in their laps because it sounds cute to call yourself this or that or the third, or to be deemed, but, to convince people that you are this, that, and the third. These motherfuckers are eyes behind the goddamn curtain. Bunch of little men shaking in their motherfucking boots behind the spectacle, behind the mask. It's crazy to me. Brothers and sisters, boxing is definitely a strange, beautiful, tumultuous place. As we head into the new year, I'm always hopeful, of some much needed changes to be introduced. But we have a lot of things that we are battling as far as mentality and mindset and the lure of money and I guess the solicitation that cowardice um, brings to people is something is appetizing about it. Some people just like to indulge in that because they can be given an easy route, a comfortable route, while talking themselves up a good game without actually having to pass through fire. The fire is necessary, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Um, it is scary. It's a lot of unknown things there, right? But that's what the warrior heart demands of us. Is that we not tread lightly all the time, right? Is that we don't limit ourselves in our potential, but that we want to see our own potential, right? The world gets to bask in our potential, but it is us that has to um, understand the spark, nurture and nourish that spark. Um, I'm looking at these particular types of things in the sport, and a lot of people are being exposed. And perhaps we need more of that because it's better to know than not to know. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be able to call the cowardice out instead of being fooled, about one's, alleged valiance or level of valor or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I would rather know. It's disheartening to see this level, these types of things being displayed, right? But better that I know that so that I know what you are, and that the more passionate and vehemently I can give my support to the people who actually exemplify the spirit that I respect, and that I find to be admirable, right? So it is what it is. I guess I will end it there for now, brothers and sisters. There were a few things that I could go into, but I may do a separate commentary about those particular types of things. I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. I know I've been going on for a little bit. Definitely extending infinite blessings. I think I got some super chats. Hold on. Yes, I got the King Prof earlier. Thank you so much, King Prof. Wonderful to see you, and thank you for contributing to the channel once again. We got a bit of love from the Classic Code. Salute to you. He says, love what you're doing, Queen. Keep cooking. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate you for showing up this evening, and for sure for showing some love in the super chat and supporting the channel. Thank you so much. Infinite blessings to my twin, Daryl Anderson. Always 10 toes with the love and the wonderful energy. He says, just my usual appreciation for a Sunday cook. Salute to the twin. Always 10 toes down. Thank you so much, King. Wonderful to have you as always. I appreciate you, your presence, your support, and just all that wonderful energy that you give each week. Infinite blessings to the good family, y'all. I'm going to end it here. Have a wonderful week ahead, beautiful people. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.